What's up guys, it's Brandon Childs, and today we're going over an exercise called split squats. Now this is my personal favorite leg exercise, and what I would argue is the most beneficial exercise to improve leg strength, because like lunges, it trains your body unilaterally, meaning one side at a time, which is going to help expose any kind of imbalances that you may have. But the difference between this and lunges is that you have your back leg elevated for this one, so you're essentially standing on one leg through the entire range of motion, and you don't get any kind of support from the opposite leg. It's also one of my favorite exercises because it acts as a quad and hip flexor stretch, which is very important for helping release your lower back and relieving any kind of knee tension and pain in those areas. So the best way to start off the split squat is basically in the kneeling position. This is because it makes it a lot easier to make sure you're in the proper alignment for the movement. So the first thing you want to do is have your chair, bench, couch, whatever you want to use to elevate your foot, have that set up behind you, and then when you do place your foot onto that surface, you want to make sure that you only have the tops of your toes on there. One, because it's going to be a lot more uncomfortable if you have too much of your foot on there, you're putting a strain on top of your ankle. And two, it makes it to where when you do push up, you're more likely to use your back leg for support if you have more of your foot surface on there. So minimize the amount that you're using in the back leg, or basically only having the top of your toes on there. The next thing you want to do is basically, once you're in that position, lean back as far as your body will let you, and you'll instantly feel that quad and hip flexor stretch that I was talking about. Just make sure your pelvis is rotated up in the front so that you're not arching your lower back like that. So ideally, you want your heel to get all the way to your butt. If you're not able to do that because you're really tight, obviously you just have something to work towards, and that's okay. Get as close as you possibly can. Then the next part, you want to make sure that when you're leaning back as far as you can get, you want to make sure that your knee is directly over your ankle. This isn't the position you're going to push from, it's just the natural alignment that you want to get. So that way when you do initiate the movement and shift forward, your knee will be directly between your heel and your toe, just like on the lunge. This is the proper position that you want to push from. So that way when you do go into the movement to pushing up, make sure that this hip stays engaged in and it's not sticking out so that you don't lose balance. So that when you push up, you lean forward, good 45-degree angle, and as you push up, you're using entirely this leg to come up. And as you notice, as I come up, I'm hinging forward as I come up. I'm not just pushing straight back like that, because all that's doing is putting all the weight on this back leg and making it quad dominant and not using any of your glutes and hamstrings to initiate. So make sure that as you come up, you're extending forward, extending from the hip, relaxing your back, not extending with your back to initiate the movement. You want all the motion to come from the hips to make sure you're recruiting all those glute and hamstring muscles. You also want to make sure that when you're standing on one leg, you want to make sure you're keeping the weight on the inside arch or ball of your foot, and this knee stays rotated out towards your baby toe. This is because it makes sure that you're maintaining the most amount of balance. You don't want to roll to the outside of your foot or push on the outside of your foot, because then you're overworking the outside of your leg, which can lead to all kinds of injuries. So make sure that you're staying on the inside of the foot, knee is rotated out, and the hip is rotated in all the way to the full range of motion. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or requests, make sure you leave them in the comments so that I can continue to make content that will bring out your ultra instinct.